this video, we're going to be going over the newest god coming to Smite, Chernobog. I don't really know how to pronounce his name just, quite yet, because I haven't heard, announcers or anything say it yet, and I didn't watch the patch notes, but this is him. The Demonic Hunter, the new Slavic pantheon coming out. In-game, the little brief bit that I did see, I didn't really like the way he looked in-game, but when you actually see his model, wow, he looks amazing. The detail that are in the crystals that are coming out of his shoulders and then the forearms. I'm still not crazy that he's a hunter. I really wish he was like an assassin, because this really looks like an assassin to me. Or even if you wanted to continue with the ranged theme, because he has, like, his basic attacks are very interesting. We'll get to those in a second. Maybe a mage, because the way he shoots, I think it's going to be too confusing for a lot of people to get the hang of. Especially if you had trouble with, like, AMC or something like that. You might have some trouble with this guy. So maybe a mage, because you would still have those unique basic attacks, but you wouldn't be basic attacking all the time because you're in a mage. So, I don't know. But nevertheless, he looks fantastic. We'll get into his abilities real quick. So his passive is pretty simple. Every basic attack impales the enemy with the crystal. Whenever you get 3, and it applies a stack. Whenever you get 3 stacks, the enemy explodes. So basically every 3 basic attacks is going to explode. It's going to do 15% of your damage, plus 1% per level of your total basic attack power. Pretty good passive. And it also can pair with your abilities as well, which is pretty cool. So your first ability combos with your second. Or I guess I should say your second combos with your one. But your first one is going to be like your main lane clear. So you throw out this crystal. It's going to do damage. And then after a couple seconds, it's going to do damage again. However, you can make it detonate early by throwing your 2 at it. So the best way I could describe this would be like, the closest combination is Nuwa. Like, this would be your clay soldiers and this would be your 3. That's the closest thing I can explain to it, but it's still a little bit different. It's going to do 50 damage to 170 plus 80% of your physical power, and that's both times. So you throw it out and it's going to do damage, and then it's going to detonate after a couple seconds and do all of this damage again. So it does the exact same damage on both hits. Pretty simple. It's also going to root you for 1 second whenever it does detonate. Your 2, kind of underwhelming, but kind of good at the same time. So your 2 acts as a basic attack. So basically, if you're level 1, this thing is going to hit for like 20. But if you're level 20, this thing could hit for like 700, because this can crit as well. This can do anything that a basic attack does, except for hit towers. That's the only thing it can't do. It goes through all enemies it passes through. Ooh, that was a cool effect. I like that. Good God. But it goes through all enemies, and it combos with your 1. So you throw out the 1, and then if you want to detonate it early, throw out the 2 really quick. Make sure to have this on instacast. Gonna be pretty deadly, because you can combo these together as, pretty well. Not only that, it also gives you attack speed increase starting at 30%, that's the lowest, all the way up to 70%, which is pretty crazy. So it applies a single stack of Heart of Cold to all enemies it passes through and instantly detonates crystals. So it also applies 1 stack towards your passive, which is pretty cool. So again, acting like the basic attack. Your 3 is the ability we've already got into a little bit. It's called Into Darkness. Kind of like Nox's dash a little bit. You're going to dash forward, dealing damage, slowing them for 2 seconds. If you hit an enemy, it's going to slow them for 2 seconds. That's what I mean. And if you come in contact with the wall, so let's say you dash to an enemy and you hit the wall, you're going to be stuck in that wall. You're going to be in shadow form. They can see you. You're pretty obvious that you're in there, especially if someone saw that you fly in. And then you have the option to fly back out again, and you can do more damage. You can only stay in there for up to, I think, like 3 seconds. You become untargetable. Yeah, for up to 3 seconds. So you're untargetable. You can't be hit. You're just invincible in there. You can stay in there for 3 seconds. You can jump out there immediately. So you can dash into them and then into the wall and then immediately dash back out. So you can make this just a 2-hit ability if you use it effectively and they're in position well enough. Or you can kind of use this, strategically. If you're about to die, dash into a wall real quick, get a kind of a quick Aegis, wait until their abilities are, you know, on cooldown and get out and try to, you know, run real quick or fight, you know, depending on how built you are. So it's pretty cool. It does a little bit of damage, nothing too insane, and then it has a 25% slow. Your cooldown goes down on this, however, and your cooldown also goes down on your 1. So those are going to be the 2 that you want to upgrade, and you probably want to upgrade your ultimate whenever possible because it's pretty insane. We'll get into that. So your 2 is probably the one you want to upgrade last, but that's good because of that insane attack speed. You don't want people upgrading that first and being up to 70% attack speed, you know, by like level 10 or something like that. And so your ultimate is unique. It's kind of a global ultimate. Actually, it's the definition of a global ultimate because you can technically go from fountain to fountain with this. I'll explain it in a bit. So you can read it yourself, pause it if you want, but I'm going to explain it a little more simpler. Basically, you hit 4. You just hit it, and a shadow appears by every single enemy that's in the game currently. Whoever's alive. If there's one person alive, it's going to be that person. If there's all 5, it's going to be all 5. So it spawns a shadow of yourself by them. It doesn't do damage. It can't hurt them. They can outrun it. They can get away from it if they want to, and probably should, because what you do is you pick one shadow to fly to. So you act as Athena towards the enemy, because Athena can teleport to any friendly god. You can teleport to any enemy god. Well, not enemy. Nah, it was a tongue twister. Not any enemy god, but any shadow. So like if you hit your ultimate and you wait for 5 or 6 seconds and a Mercury ults away from the shadow, you're not going to be next to that Mercury whenever you do decide to do it. But generally you're going to be fairly close to the enemy that you do decide to travel to. So travel to them, and as soon as you get to them, you're going to get damage mitigation up to 40%. You're going to get 30% movement speed. You're also, or no, wait, so what is it? So yeah, you get the damage mitigation, you get movement speed, and whenever you do pop the ultimate, the shadow is going to slow enemies. So it's going to slow them down for a little bit, but obviously they can dash away and get away from it. And then the shadow clone movement speed is going to go up every time. So you're going to want to upgrade this as much as possible, mainly for the damage mitigation, but also because that shadow clone speed is going to be up. So it's going to be harder for them to get away. You'll be able to get to them, you know, whenever you want, whatever enemy that is. Really unique kit. Definitely gonna have to try it out because I cannot tell you whether he's gonna be good or bad just by reading it, because it's so a global alt that's very different, because like you don't get a whole lot. This is a very selfish ultimate. This does nothing. I mean, you're going into you know, that fight on your own. I mean, I guess you could be used to help a teammate if your teammate's like, hey, I'm, you know, getting a 2v1 gank, you could fly to them. But I mean, you do get the damage mitigation, which is good though, and then movement speed. So if you're already built and you're already snowballing and you're hitting hard, to just get damage mitigation and be able to move faster on top of that is going to be pretty scary. So the ultimate could be nuts. I'm not sure how I feel about Into Darkness yet. The 1-2, this is going to be his key. It's how hard and how great is this going to work together, and how well will the lane clear be. It's really going to be the key factor here. We're going to go ahead and jump into a practice real quick because I've been yambling for a bunch. We'll see what his abilities look like and what he looks like in game. Actually, before we get into that, I'm going to show you his recolors first. Well, his one recolor. Ooh, I thought that was diamond at first. That intro looks like he has diamond wings. That's really cool. But his recolor, which is actually really cool as well, I actually like that a lot better than his regular skin. And I like the way he looks here. But this is fantastic. I think it's just because of the contrast of his like super pale skin and then the black crystals and like the black horns. That's crazy. So I'm gonna buy the recolor because that's fantastic. And then we also have his Masteries already, which I think this is the first. Usually we have to wait another patch before we can get the Masteries for the current god, but we can get them now. Maybe that's why it took a little bit longer. I don't know. I'm not the gold. This effect right here on the chest is pretty cool, but oh, the wings are cool too. But I don't know. I don't like the gold on the horns that well. But legendary. Oh my god, that looks fantastic. The gold on the horns, it looks better on here, I guess, just because the rest looks amazing, but good god. This god was made for, like, the legendary skins, I think, because the way he's built with all these crystals, it just works so perfectly. And he has this cool, like, shiny, like, I don't know what to describe it on his chest, that works so well with the golds, and I'm gonna guess the diamond as well here in a second, but my god, let's see how cool the diamond looks. Not as cool as I was expecting, but still really cool nonetheless. I wish, hold on, let me see something. No, I guess that is the same color. I don't know. But I think the legendary is definitely the best, for sure. Diamond is not as cool as I was hoping it was going to be. Still cool, don't get me wrong. But that legendary, it just looks amazing. My god. So does his recolor. Like I said, his recolor looks cool as well. And then he just looks pretty cool. Still kind of wishing he was like an assassin or a mage. I just don't... He doesn't scream hunter to me. I don't know. Alright, we are back in game. And he actually looks a lot better than I thought. I guess I just saw like a bad angle of him. Or maybe it was just a low pixelated video. But the bat wings look scarily accurate. Like they're kind of weird looking, but these are his basic attacks, and this is what I was talking about. He just shoots from each hand. So like with AMC, it's kind of awkward because you're shooting from the stinger and it is left-handed, but then this dude's just alternating and going ham and like shooting. So it could be basic. I don't see a problem with it. I think it's fine, but some people might have a hard time with it. I guess it all just depends on who you are. Let's see his one here. So this will be the lane clear. That's amazing. I love that. So you can see the two different damage parts there. Initial, and then when it explodes. It's pretty obvious. Let's check it out one more time. So that'll be initial damage. And then that's how long it takes to get the second damage off. So you probably won't be able to get double damage off on an enemy god unless you combo, because that's kind of slow. I think it was like 2 seconds. But the lane clear, you know, might be all right. We'll check out lane clear in a little bit. So let's see. That's how quick you can combo, and I didn't even have that on Instacast. Let me put this on Instacast real quick, and see how quick you could really, you know, truly combo the 2-1 together. Yeah, like instantly. So that could be a super deadly combo, you know, just depending on, you know, how strong it really is. We'll have to, you know, and that'll just come with testing out, you know, the god and everything like that. Consumes you. So nothing too crazy on the combo. It just does the same thing as it would if it were to just, you know, if you were to let it run out. Boom. That's exactly what it does. The same thing if you throw that at it. That, nothing too fancy there. Just throwing out a crystal. Pretty self-explanatory. It's pretty cool. And then the 3. Okay, so it doesn't. I was expecting it to look a lot like Nox's, and I'm glad it doesn't. He just kind of flies, you know, forward. And then see into the wall. So yeah, you even see the indicator when you actually be flying into a wall, and it's any wall. If Odin were to ult, I can fly into his wall. If Amir throws up his, you know, wall, I can fly into that. So any wall you can fly into, and that's what it looks like. So it forces you out. If you don't dash out, that's what's gonna do. It's just gonna drop you. However, if you do decide to dash out, you can get double damage. What? Oh, okay. Okay, let's try that again. Boom. Dash back out. So all you gotta do is click it again, and it'll let you dash back out, which is pretty cool. And then let's see the ultimate. So that's the ult. You go into the air, and you can see the shadows. Odin has one there, Odin has one there, and Ra has one there. So that's what happens when you don't do it. I want to see what the shadows look like, so this is what I'm going to do. It's going to reset. I'm just going to go up in the air. Boom. And go to this shadow. So that's what the shadows look like. They don't hurt him. You see Ra's not losing health over there. They just stay by him. I like that little backflip he did, though. That was pretty cool. Check it out one more time. We'll fly to raw this time. So you go in fast. And you can see how, obviously raw's level 7, but I don't have any defense built in, but you can just see the natural, you know. I think I would be up to 30% damage mitigation or something like that. I'm not quite sure, but you get damage mitigation, that's the point. What are we up to now? 20% damage mitigation, so still a lot. So that's crazy, 20% damage mitigation just at level 5 whenever you get your ultimate. What I'm going to do right now is take off everything, except for like what you would have at the start. To see what, so let's see, you would get like, I guess Hunter's Blessing, maybe like tier 1 boots, something like that. I don't know, because you would have potions and stuff like that too. That's not the right one. Gonna go down to level 1. There we go. Upgrade that and see what the lane clear would be like. See if you can get the whole. Yeah, you can't really get. Actually, yeah, you can. You can get everybody. I mean, that's level 1. But if you use the 2, it's not letting me use the 2 for some reason, which is interesting. It's weird. Can't use this 2 for some reason. But so level 1 lane clear doesn't seem like it would be the best, and it is very hard to get every single minion in the lane because you really got to position yourself. You can get it, but you can get it just right. So if you're just throwing it out there, you probably end up missing 1 or 2. And oh, the reason I just realized I couldn't throw out his 2 because I didn't have it yet. We reset to level 1. So you can see his 2 goes through everything. So you do kind of have 2 different lane clears. You could either, his level 2 lane clear might not be bad because instead of using the 2 to explode, you could wait for it to explode and then use the 2 for extra lane clear. So what I mean is throw that down, naturally let it play out, and then throw that out. So now they're pretty low. You get them down there. So his level 1 lane clear, kind of shite. You get to level 2, and he might have some pretty great lane clear. Obviously, you have to use it a little more strategically, but he definitely has the potential there. I just don't know. I mean, obviously, that's first glance. Compared to other, gods, he might suck. He might be absolutely terrible on release, and everything I just said could be irrelevant. We will not go until we test him out, which is what I'm going to do after this video goes up, probably. We'll take a look at the voice pack real quick. Very demonic, as expected.
You might even be as good as me. Cancel Smite. Of course, I am the greatest. How fortuitous.
So they went very humanoid on the way he looks, but straight demon on his voice pack, which is an interesting choice. I know a lot of people were complaining in the comments. Well, not a lot, but some people, I think one of them had like Slavic background, and they were saying like there's no humanoid about him or something like that. Like he's just straight demon. I don't know. I forget exactly what it was word for word, but that's basically what they were getting at, so I don't know.
My very presence is suffocating. Beware every dark place, each sinister shadow,
hey,
for I am everywhere. Death has wings, and it is coming for you.
Yeah. His taunts aren't friendly, his taunts aren't funny, they're just brutal, man.
There are too many sun gods for my liking.
Ooh.
I had a fight with my brother, and it was like night and day. No, literally. We created night and day.
Wait, who's his brother? Ooh, that's cool. Is his brother going to be the next Slavic god? Someone let me know in the comments who his brother is, and if he's like... So if he's... With his... I guess his... I don't know. I don't know anything about the Slavic mythology.
I had a fight with my brother, and it was like night and day.
That is his jokes. Take a look at all of his abilities one more time. Get to level 5. Then we'll go ahead and wrap... Oh, come on. Wrap this up. We got 3. Alright, so again, the 1-2 combo. Boom. Boom. Pretty easy. Pretty easy to hit, too, because the 2 has a pretty wide indicator. Those weird basic attacks, man. It's like pulses from his freaking hands. And the dash. I don't think I've actually dashed into Odin and showed you what that looks like, so reset this. Show you the ult real quick.
Prepare yourself.
One more time. I love that backflip when he comes in. It's great. That's the double dash. So that is going to wrap it up for this video, guys. If you enjoyed it, drop a like, hit subscribe if you already haven't. Social media links are in the description. Until next time, peace.